Years ago, the average desktop PC was the most advanced piece of technology around. But now, the market has been bombarded by technology advancements, from LCD screens, laptops, to palmtops, and cell phones that can give detail on current location from maps to near precision. The East Africa region is expected to experience phenomenal growth with the introduction of fiber optic cable technology.
The BPO industry is right at the beginning of what I think is going to be an explosion over these next few years. I don't see the explosion happening dramatically. I think there's going to be a build-up to it.
If we look back at the inception of the idea, which came about from the Kenya Private Sector Alliance and private sector being involved in advocating for an environment which would promote BPO as an industry, we can draw our attention or our imagination to what was discussed in 2003 when Kenya launched its first economic recovery strategy. And at that time, as private sector, we were constantly in awe of the potential impact that BPO industries could provide to a nation like ours.
Despite recent political events that have slowed Kenya's growth potential in the near term, analysts project Kenya to be one of the world's fastest developing outsourcing destinations.
Currently, the main competition we face with countries like India, Philippines, even Ghana in Africa or South Africa, all of them have fiber optic, meaning the cost of bandwidth is a fraction of what we pay. For a call center, bandwidth is one of the highest expenses. For a call center in BP, it's one of the highest running expenses. By fiber landing, it'll cut down that expense. Not meaning that the floodgates will open up and jobs will pour in, but it'll give us a competitive edge. We'll be able to compete at the same level with the other call centers in the world.
With conventional outsourcing destinations such as India experiencing rising cost and employee turnover, executives are looking beyond the Asian subcontinent for offshore outsourcing providers.
There's an unfamiliarity that Africa consists of 52 nations, that there are a lot of politically stable countries in Africa, that there's a lot of differences in English, French, and even Middle Eastern Arabic speaking countries. So there's a lot of opportunity here to service other African nations, also to service European countries that have operations here.
The government has invested billions to improve its telecommunications infrastructure. This, coupled with the country's strategic geographic location and favorable time zones, create an irresistible climate for investors.
We started with basic data operations for a few local companies, and last year in 2008 we ventured into the voice operations. And we started working with a couple of US companies on the telemarketing and market research campaigns. Okay, we struggled a bit initially for about 4 to 6 months. Then we got a local contract, and that's when it started peaking, and now we have about 3 or 4 local contracts and a couple of international contracts in our bag.
Being driven largely by government, the focus has turned to establishing the legal and institutional framework necessary to harness the sector's full potential.
We've recently seen that Kenya has amended its Communication Act to incorporate outsourcing opportunities, but we need to go further and create a data protection component. We hope that the media bill will address this issue. We need to ensure that the judiciary is up to date with the latest information on some of the cases that would come about through BPO, but more importantly, there would be a recourse mechanism which would then instill confidence in organizations that would like to subcontract to Kenya.
Marketing the country as a suitable alternative outsourcing destination and the level of awareness among citizens and end users, among others, are potent challenges for the sectors.
The challenge we have in trying to sell Kenya as a market for BPO work, BPO call center work, is that first of all, international business people don't look at Kenya as a place where you can do professional business at international class standards. They see us more as a place you go on holiday, you go on safari, or a place where there tends to be political issues. So it's a very tough sell selling internationally.
So what we hope to see is not only local participation but also international participation in ways in which we can carry out certain core functions that they are willing to subcontract locally on a volume basis based on a capacity and environment which makes it viable and competitive for us to provide this service to them.
The potential for growth of the sector is obvious. The challenges are surmountable, and Kenya stands to gain enormously.